The Tokina ATX Pro D 100mm f2.8 macro. Ever since Ken Rockwell back in 2006 made his review of this lens and praised it very much, I think this has been a legend and still is today. It is an amazing piece of glass that you get, or pieces of glass, for the price, and I think in terms of budget friendliness, this is some of the best you can get in the marketplace today. It's for obviously the macro name, as the macro name indicates, it's for macro shooting, but it's also very good at portrait and also street photography. However, if you are a Nikon user and you are also in the budget friendly end of the scale, and you have a 3000 or a 5000 series camera, there are two things I would like to make you aware of. And not to scare you off, this is a fantastic lens, don't get me wrong, but I do think you should be aware of two things if you have a 3000 or a 5000 series Nikon camera body. I do not have a 3000 series, I only have this one, the 5000, but the 3000 and specifically the 3400, I've read several places that the metering system does not work with that lens because apparently a CPU contact is missing, not here, but I think in the camera. So that gives you a problem if you are not very comfortable with shooting in manual mode. Of course, it's possible to control everything yourself, but if you do not get help from the metering, I don't think the camera will work in aperture mode or some of the other semi-automatic modes. And as I shoot 99.9% of my time in aperture mode, that would be an issue for me. So maybe that's also an issue for you. I would recommend that you check out that your specific model does not have a problem with metering with this otherwise fine Tokina lens. That's the first point in this video. The second point, and that's the point I made previously related to both the 3000 and the 5000 series, and that is that the camera body does not have a built-in motor. If it had a built-in motor, here I have a 7000 series camera, the 7500, and you can see here it has this little metal thing here that pops in and out as you switch between autofocus and manual mode. As you can see here, it jumps in and out. If you don't have that in your camera body, then this Tokina, even though it says autofocus, what they mean is that this lens will focus with the assistance from the camera built-in motor. So when the camera is in autofocus mode, what will happen is that the camera will basically turn this little screw, and you can see how that pops out the zoom, and vice versa if I turn the other way. So this is for you. If you have a 3000 and a 5000 series camera, then you will not get the benefits of the autofocus. You will simply have to focus manually. Not that it's a biggie. I think you can easily learn how to focus manually, but I will say that you should be aware, that's my second point with this video, you should be aware when you buy this lens, if you have a 3000 or 5000 series body, you will not get the benefits of the autofocus, even though the specification here says autofocus. What they mean is it's autofocus with a built-in motor. Here you can see that the Nikon kit lens 18-140 that I got here has an autofocus motor as well, AFS, but that means the motor is built into the lens and not the camera body, so the lens will autofocus fine without a motor in the camera body. So that's why I felt it was important to mention this if you came from one of these lenses and thought that the Tokina lens would also have, when it said autofocus, would provide you with autofocus on a 3000 or 5000 series lens. That is not the case. My third point with this video is just to give you a little bit of guidance to to the Tokina lens, it's well described in the manuals, but just be aware that if you decide to buy this lens and have this problem, when you mount the lens, it has to be in maximum aperture. The number has to be 32, also marked in green here. If you put it at something else and you mount the lens, then you will get an error message like this. It will say, it's very kind, and said lock lens aperture ring at minimum aperture, largest f-stop number. So of course you do that, and then you have no problem. There's a little switch up here that will enable you to lock it, and then the camera will control the aperture. What it basically does is it has a little motor that turns this little split, whatever you want to call it, this one here, and as you can see, as I do it manually here, it opens and closes the aperture. So no problem there if you manage to get that one right. The other thing I want to mention is that I'm used to, from the kit lens to and many other lenses, to have a little marker here saying that this is, I need to put in front of the equivalent dots on the camera body, and then clicks, and then we are good to go. The thing is, with this lens, you can actually if you are very, very good at this, you can actually mount the lens the wrong way, because there really is no marker. And in the beginning I thought that little tab there was the marker that indicated how I should mount the lens. So of course I put the lens on and did like this, and then I switched it on, and then it said lens not attached. What was wrong? The problem was that you can actually mount this lens the wrong way. So you need again to pay attention to the green, not the number here, but there's a little, I don't know if you want to call that yellow or green or third color, but basically there is a marker here, and that marker has to be placed outside the white dot, and then you're good to go. Maybe I'm the only one in the entire photo community that made that mistake, but if you had made the same, maybe that had been an issue for you. Not anymore. Don't get me wrong, my point with this video is that I want to make you aware what it is you're buying and manage your expectations. Don't get the idea that I'm not recommending this lens. It is a fantastic lens. It will fit both your FX and your DX camera bodies. So I'm actually upgrading from the 5600 to 750 within a few weeks. And I'm very happy this lens will work on both camera bodies. This one is made in Japan. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why also the Angry photographer recommends this lens so very much, as you say, precision manufactured in Japan. And that means that the build quality is excellent. It is will probably last for many, many years. It is razor sharp, or tack sharp, whatever you want to call it. You can consult DxO Mark. You can consult the reviews from Ken Rockwell. You can consult the several videos from the Angry photographer and other reviewers. And you can look into those sites where you can buy these lenses and see what people say about this lens. It's absolutely fantastic. And again, maybe not perfect in any way, but for the price, it is fantastic, the value you get from this lens. So don't get me wrong, it comes highly recommended. I just wanted to point out, if you are in the same, you can say, entry-level lineup of the Nikon lenses as I am here with the 5600, there are a few things to be aware of before you buy this lens. But other than that, please go ahead. You can't get this one wrong. It is a fantastic lens for the purposes mentioned. As always, thank you for watching. Happy shooting. Take care. Bye-bye.